Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and you're watching TTV News, some latest events in the province. And now come to details. Ladies and gentlemen, on the afternoon of May 21st, the Provincial People Committee had the conference to announce decision on organizational restructuring and personnel. Key officials including acting chairman Nguyễn Hồng Thanh, vice chairwoman of the Provincial People Council Nguyễn Đại Thi, and vice chairman of the Provincial People Committee Đoàn Trung Kiên attended the event.
At the conference, Ms. Nguyễn Thị Thu Hiền, Director of the Department of Home Affairs, announced the Provincial People's Committee decision to reorganize the Provincial Construction Investment Project Management Board and the Provincial Transport Sector Construction Investment Project Management Board into a single turning Provincial Construction Investment Project Management Board, effective on May the 20th of 2025. And during the ceremony, the Provincial People's Committee appointed Mr. Trương Văn Dễ as director of the new reorganized board. Additionally, Ms. Nguyễn Thị Ngọc Vui, Mr. Đặng Xuân Trường, Mr. Huỳnh Hữu Khang Hy, and Mr. Lê Minh Trung and Mr. Phạm Phương Bình were appointed as deputy directors. The Provincial People's Committee also transferred and appointed Ms. Nguyễn Thành Quang as director of Provincial Agriculture and Rural Development Sector Construction Investment Project Management Board. Two more deputy directors for this board are Mr. Bùi Xuân Phương and Mr. Võ Hoài Linh were also appointed. Acting Chairman Nguyễn Hồng Thanh urged the new leadership of the Provincial Construction Investment Project Management Board to quickly grasp the new responsibilities, continue to build on the past achievements, and foster internal unity and promptly implement the assigned tasks without delay. He also stressed the importance of personnel management, ensuring the staff are placed in appropriate roles that match their capabilities and foster a sense of responsibility and professionalism.
Looking back at public investment outcomes in the early months of 2025, with 37 out of 47 ministry and agencies and 27 out of 63 localities having disbursement rate below the national average, the Prime Minister at the conference on boosting public investment growth momentum in 2025 requested a clear explanation of this issue and ministry sector as well as locality with slow disbursement must be re-evaluated.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính noted that the government and the Prime Minister's office regularly organize mainly conferences and meetings concerning the acceleration of public investment disbursement. They have also issued various directives and official dispatches. Despite these efforts, the issue persists. Therefore, it is essential to analyze which ministries and sectors are performing well so they can be rewarded, and concurrently to discipline those that are underperforming. The Prime Minister demanded clarification on why central ministries, agencies and localities are experiencing slow public investment disbursement. He strengthened it to identify the root causes, pinpoint the exact problems, and clearly indicate the difficulties, bottlenecks, and obstacles. Furthermore, he emphasized clarifying the responsibilities of ministries and sectors, with a particular focus on analyzing why, under the same conditions and policies, some places perform well while others do not. Importantly, he called for identifying lessons learned in leadership, direction, and implementation at all levels and sectors, especially concerning the role of leaders to formulate appropriate solutions. He also urged the establishment of regular measurement principles and tools to monitor, remit, and leverage the role of the Prime Minister working groups.
Reorganizing the importance of environmental protection and sustainable development, TayNinhTV has actively embraced the plan in 1 billion trees in 2021 to 2025 movement launched by the Prime Minister, and with the clear goals, a well-structured plan and widespread societal participation, the tree planting initiative in the province has yielded positive results. As per Provincial People's Committee's plan, TayNinhTV has planned for approximately 2.59 million trees since 2021 and achieving 99.5% of its target. Additionally, public awareness campaigns have been highly effective, with over 1.7 million trees voluntarily planted by the residents across various areas. 2025 marks the final year of the project, and the province is projected to plan an additional of 260,000 trees, including 177,000 sculpted trees and 82 hectares of forest. And with these impressive results, TayNinhTV is expected to not only meet but exceed its overall target by 10% for the entire period.
Recently, TayNinhTV Provincial Traffic Safety Committee has actually developed plans and implemented various effective campaigns and promote traffic safety laws. The Provincial Traffic Safety Committee has proactively collaborated with different agencies and media outlets to boost traffic safety awareness throughout the province. They've utilized diverse methods, including direct engagement, online platforms, and effectively leveraging social media and mass media. These efforts primarily focus on disseminating traffic safety laws and condemning common violations.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the afternoon of May 20, the 50 National Assembly have group discussion on the RAP law amending and supplementing certain revisions of the Criminal Code, the Criminal Procedure Code, and the Law on Radio Institution. Mr. Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, member of the Politburo, Secretary of the Party Central Committee, head up the Central Propaganda and Mass Mobilization Commission, along with National Assembly delegates from TayNinhTV Province, participated in Group 9 discussion with delegates from Quảng Ninh, Bến Tre, and Hòa Bình Province.
During the group discussion, Mr. Hoàng Thị Thanh Thúy, full-time deputy head of TayNinhTV Provincial National Assembly delegation, expressed the general agreement with the policy of reducing the death penalty for certain offences in the proposed amendments to the Criminal Code. In my viewpoint, when we talk about reducing sentences, there should be no exceptions, and this form of punishment replaces the death penalty. It is a humanitarian approach aligned with the international trends, and therefore, if the life imprisonment without parole is established as the alternative, then allowing the exceptions contradicts the intent. I do not agree with the provision that allow for special amnesty, general amnesty, or sentence commutation in such cases, and I propose removing such exceptions. Regarding the provision that allows offenders convicted of embezzlement or bribery to avoid a life imprisonment without parole if they return 3/4 of the illicit assets, the delegates also expressed disagreement. I also disagree with this provision, and these crimes are already being downgraded from the death penalty to life imprisonment without parole, and with a reflects the state lenient and humanitarian policy. Secondly, allowing the returns of embezzlement assets to avoid the life without parole is unreasonable, as returning the criminal assets is a mandatory obligation, not a matter of negotiation or bargaining, and thus I do not agree with such a condition for sentence reduction. Concerning the RAP amendments to the Criminal Procedure Code, delegates propose extending the notification period to defendants and their defense lawyers or legal representatives. The current provisions state that the notification must be sent within 3 days from the date of the decision. However, in complex cases involving multiple parties or parties located in different regions, meeting this 3-day requirement is practically difficult, and therefore I suggest extending this time frame, as maintaining this regulation could lead to no compliance with the practice. The delegates also proposed that the drafting body include a regulation stipulating that if a defendant has not received the indictment or has received it outside the legally mandated time frame, the trial panel must postpone the hearing, and this could ensure the compliance with the principle of respecting and protecting human rights as well as the legal rights and interests of individuals as provided in Article 8 of the 2015 Criminal Procedure Code.
Turn to domestic news. Vietnamese ambassador to Cambodia, Nguyễn Minh Du, have the courtesy call and working session with Mr. Han Chunaro, member of the Central Committee of Cambodian People Party, CPP, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Youth and Sport of Cambodia, to foster cooperation in relevant fields.
Deputy Prime Minister Hang Chunaron affirmed that the Cambodian government highly values and consistently promotes solidarity and close ties with neighboring countries, including Vietnam, believing that strong bilateral relations will benefit both nations' development. Ambassador Nguyen Minh Vu, in turn, commended and congratulated Deputy Prime Minister Chunaron and the leadership and staff of the Cambodian Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport for their effective implementation of the Educational Strategic Plan (RESP) for the 2024-2028 period.
And on the morning of May the 21st, the National Assembly passed a resolution to shorten the term of the 15th National Assembly and Local People's Council 2021 to 2026 and agreed to hold the election for the 16th National Assembly and Local Council for the 2026 to 2031 term on Sunday, March the 15th of 2026. According to the resolution, the first section of the 16th National Assembly must be convened no later than 60 days after the election, and the first sections of Local People's Councils must be held within 45 days. And this early election day reflects the strong political commitment to ensuring a smooth, stable, and efficient transition in the state apparatus during the next stage of development.
The audience for safety at collective kitchens in industrial zone and cluster has once again raised serious concern after Famimoto Vietnam was found distributing counterfeit products such as cooking oil, seasoning powder, and popular the canteen kitchens in Hanoi and over 10 northern provinces. Let's take a closer look at the situation in Ba Giang province.
Following this news, many businesses have stepped up their inspection and monitoring of raw food materials, rightly establishing internal monitoring networks to ensure for safety for workers' meals. We've heard about fake fish sauce and monosodium glutamate being circulated. I hope the unions and relevant agencies will tighten control to help workers like us stay healthy and able to work. Not waiting on authorities alone, many enterprises in Ba Giang have proactively set up internal food safety supervision system. As from export government choice for company, the process of checking raw materials is strictly enforced. When food arrives, our union coordinates 5 supervisory teams, including the Union Executive Committee, team leaders, security staff, kitchen supervisors, and the chefs themselves. This ensures both the portion size and the quality of ingredients are strictly controlled. In Ba Giang, local authorities have inspected 10 enterprises and tried to violate a total of 20 million Vietnam dong. Although no counterfeit food has been brought in industrial zone so far, the risk of food safety violations remains present. Our focus is on monitoring and guiding businesses to comply with food safety regulations, especially in selecting products with clear origin and quality. This helps prevent counterfeit and substandard food from entering industrial kitchens. To sustainably ensure food safety, companies must take greater initiative in sourcing and using safe, traceable ingredients. This contributes not only to better worker health and productivity, but also to a safer and healthier work environment.
The president of the Central Committee of Vietnam Phalang Front, Do Văn Chiến, recently chaired a conference to review the preliminary results of public feedback on the draft resolution to amend and supplement the certain articles of the 2013 Constitution within the Front system. Nearly 718,000 opinions were collected, and the majority supported the draft, while some agree with the principle but suggested further revisions and improvements to specific provisions. From now until May the 30th, of 2025, the Central Standing Committee of the Vietnam Phalang Front will compile feedback from the social-political organizations, member entities, and provincial-level committees, and a draft report summarizing these opinions will be prepared, revised based on the additional input, and submitted to the government.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính head up the Standing Committee for National Key Projects in the railway sector. Recently, chair a meeting with ministry and agencies to review the progress of several major railway projects. These include the high-speed North-South Railway, the Lào Cai-Hanoi Hải Phòng Lai, and railways connecting to China. The Prime Minister emphasized that the development of these railways has clear backing. The party has directed, the government has agreed, the National Assembly supports, the people endorse, and the nation is counting on it. He counted on relevant bodies and localities to act with strong determination, focus, and accountability, ensuring clear assessments of responsibilities, timelines, and expected outcomes. Regarding the high-speed North-South Railway, the Prime Minister instructed the Ministry of Construction, Ministry of Finance, State Bank of Vietnam, and related agencies to review proposals from Vinspec and report to the competent authorities for consideration.
To close today's news, we would like to invite you to Mukancha district in Imba province to admire the stunning beauty in the terrace rice field. These fields are not only mesmerizing during the golden harvest season, but also look like natural wonder during the water pouring season. At this time of year, the terrace fields shimmer in mosaic of color, resembling an giant mural amid the majestic mountains.
Kafra is renowned for its poetic terrace landscape, especially during the water season. Visitors not only enjoy breathtaking views, but also experience the vibrant rhythm of local life. Taking advantage of the sunny days, Mr. Sung Atin from Se Sang village Kafra Camille is busy channeling water to the fields, plowing and preparing for rice planting. Kafra is a beautiful destination that attracts many tourists year-round. That's why today I'm channeling water to the fields and preparing for a new crop, while also creating a picturesque screen for visitors to capture. Since early May, with the first rains, the terrace fields have awakened from the dry season. The earthy browse, forest greens, and cloudy waste come together to create a vibrant natural canvas. It's not only a seasonal transition, but also the start of a new rice cycle. The water pouring season in Kafra leaves a lasting impression. Today, I brought my family from Saigon to enjoy this view. The terrace fields here are naturally beautiful, truly one of a kind. Since the beginning of 2025, Kafra has welcomed nearly 3,000 domestic and international visitors. During the recent April 30th, May 1st holiday, over 500 tourists came to photograph and admire the water-filled fields. To prepare for the water pouring tourism season, we've encouraged homestay families to tidy up and clean their homes. At the same time, we've instructed locals to start channeling water to the fields for plowing and planting, which also supports tourism development. Kafra during the water season is peaceful and unassuming, yet deeply enchanting. In the vast mountain landscape, the glimmering terrace seems to whisper stories of hard-working farmer artists and the simple, vibrant life of this highland region.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for watching and see you next time.